Are you worried that your child or your students quite aren't ready for kindergarten and you want to do something fun just to see if they're ready for those kindergarten standards? Well, you're in luck because today I'm going to give you 7 kindergarten readiness Zoom games. Hey fun people, welcome to Everything Aja. If you're new here, hey, welcome to my channel. My name is, of course, Aja. Here on Everything Aja, we do everything in life the fun way, including family fun and education. If this is something that you're interested in, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell. Today we're going to help our little ones prepare for kindergarten with 7 Zoom games for kindergarten readiness. Alright, so let's just get started. Our first Zoom game is called Pinch Fingers. Pinch Fingers is going to help your child develop 2 things. The first thing it's going to help your child develop is their fine motor skills. This just simply means those little muscles in their hands that they need in order to write. The second thing it's going to help your child do is prepare for writing. So Pinch Fingers is a really good pre-writing activity. With Pinch Fingers, each child will need to go grab 2 bowls and any sort of small object. So they can go get puzzle pieces or cereal or even buttons. Each child just simply needs something small that they can pinch and grab. Once everybody has their bowls and small objects, they will pour all of their small objects into one bowl. The other bowl will of course be empty. They will set up their bowls side by side, and then each child will adjust their device so that you can see everybody's screen. Once you see everybody's screen, you will be the timekeeper, and you will simply set a timer for 60 seconds. Within those 60 seconds, each child must only be able to use their index finger and their thumb in order to pinch each small object from one bowl to the other. Each child will compete to see how many small pieces they can move from one bowl to the other within the 60 seconds. So when you say go and you set your timer, they will simply pinch one object and put it in the other bowl, and then pinch another object and then put it in their bowl. Now you're going to want to encourage each child to get one piece at a time. This way they're not cheating. Our next game is called Ball Pass, and just like Pinch Fingers, this game also helps develop pre-writing skills by developing each child's fine motor skills. Only instead of developing their muscles in their fingers, this game you are actually developing the muscles in their wrists that they will need in order to write with a pencil. Only you're doing it in a really fun way. Each child will need to go grab 2 bowls, like 2 big cooking bowls. They will also need to go grab some balls or blocks that they have around the house. Now, I like to play with water, but if you're not down with telling each child to go get some water, then you don't necessarily need water in order to play this game. But if you're messy like me and you want the kids to have water in their bowls, let their parents know in advance that you're playing this game. This way you're not getting yelled at for having water all around the house. And what you will do is each child will put their blocks or balls into one cooking bowl. Then they will go grab a spoon out of the kitchen, you know, one of these big long spoons. Now, if you're playing with water, I suggest you grab a spoon that has the holes. This actually helps with water everywhere. If their child doesn't have one that has the holes, then they can simply grab any big spoon. It will still help develop their muscles in their wrist. Just like Pinch Fingers, you will set a timer for 60 seconds, and each child will move their device so that you will see both bowls in the camera. Now, when you say go, each child will grab their spoons and they will move their blocks or balls from one bowl to the next. If they have water, it's really fun because they have to kind of go bobbing for balls or bobbing for blocks. And then, of course, when the timer goes up, whichever child had the most balls or blocks in the empty bowl wins. Now that we have developed each child's fine motor skills, we are now ready to develop their gross motor skills. So our next game is Simon Says. If you don't remember how to play Simon Says, no problem. That's what I'm here for. So with Simon Says, you will simply say Simon Says, and then you will give the kids an activity that involves them moving. So they can do jumping jacks, or even running in place for a amount of seconds. Or you can even make them be silly and act like a monkey. Whatever it is that you decide to do, you're going to give them some really fun movement activities, and each time you're going to say, Simon says do jumping jacks, or Simon says run in place. And then, when you want to get someone out, you don't say Simon says. And if a child does it, they're out. So you can simply say, act like a monkey. And that child that sat here and did this, they're out.
Simon says do jumping jacks. Simon says stop. Simon says turn around. All right. Simon says start jumping up and down. Now stop. Simon didn't say.
Now, if you're already like, oh yeah, I can't wait to play these games, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell, and let me know down below in the comments which game are you excited to play with your children. Now, our next game will actually help with letter recognition. Yes, we want to see if kids actually recognize letters when they're entering kindergarten. So in order to know if they're ready for kindergarten, let's see if these children know their letters. Our next game is called Letter Race, and what you will simply do is you will share your screen and use the whiteboard feature. I just simply had two teams, you know, team 1 and team 2. And then somewhere on the screen, go ahead and have a place where you can take score of how many points each team is getting. On the rest of the whiteboard, what you would do is simply write a letter. The first team to blurt out what that letter is, they get a point. You would then continue to write letters. Once a child guesses the correct letter, you give their team a point and you erase the letter and write another letter again. The first team to get to 10 wins. Or you could change the number and say the first team to get to 15 wins. Or you could just go through all the letters and say whoever wins at the end of the alphabet wins. Now that we know children can recognize letters, let's see if they actually know their letter sounds. So the next game we're going to play develops their phonemic awareness, and that's just simply understanding sounds. So with sounds or phonemic awareness, you're wanting to see if your kids can hear the sound that you give them and find an object that starts with that sound. This next game is a sound scavenger hunt. If you want to be a little extra like me, you could also use the whiteboard feature to write the letter and still say the sound. At least this way the kids will get to hear the sound and see the letter so they can associate the sound with the letter. Now, just like with these other games, you're going to give kids 60 seconds to go on the scavenger hunt. This way they all get back in time. So if I want to give kids a sound like ruh, they will have 60 seconds to go find as many objects that begin with the ruh sound. Now, if a child comes back and they bring roses and a card that has the word rainbow, they would get 2 points. Unless they argue and say each one of these is a rose and it's a rainbow rose, that would be a lot of points.
So, this letter says K. You're going to have 1 minute to bring all the objects that begin with the K sound, okay? That begins with K.
And cold.
We both brought apple.
All right.
Ooh, an Eggo. That is a good one. I did egg.
Come on.
He's making sure it's perfect.
I
Good job.
The kid that brings the most objects that all begin with that sound wins. Now that our kids know their letters and sounds and they have their fine and gross motor skills developed, we need to teach them their numbers. We haven't done any math, y'all, so let's get to it. Our next game is a number race. Yes, a number race. In order to do this number race, you're going to once again divide up all the kids into 2 teams. And then you're going to display the whiteboard feature. And pretty much each child is racing to see if they could be the first person to say that number. It's really similar to the letter race we just did, only it's the number race. Ta-da! Now, I always love a good challenge, okay? So I want to see exactly what kids know. You can keep it simple and then try to build up just to see what numbers they recognize. And then you will see the number that nobody answers. It's probably their number limit. And then of course you'll give each child that yells the correct number a point and their team wins.
22. 5. 11.
Alright, so before we get into our last game, I do want to encourage you to watch this video. I give you even more games for kindergarten that will be perfect to teach your children. And don't forget, down below in the comments, let me know which one of these games are you excited to play with your children. And if you've already played any of these games, let me know how much did your children absolutely love these kindergarten readiness games. Alright, so we are ready for our last game, and it's really similar to a game that we already played. But the last game is Simon Says Number Style, because we have to change it up a little bit. And instead of the regular Simon Says that we discussed earlier, this time I'm going to give my kids a number. So you're actually seeing if they know how to count, and you're helping them develop their gross motor skills. So instead of saying Simon Says do jumping jacks, you will say
Simon says do 7 jumping jacks.
and then each child must count out loud how many jumping jacks they're doing. And you let them know if they don't count out loud, they're out. And that just does it. And then you might have kids that really don't know how to count. And so you're gonna gauge the numbers. If you know that 5 was just way too high for kids, then just stick with 3 or even 1 jumping jack. How much fun really is 1 push-up?
1.
And then of course, if you don't say Simon Says and they do it, they're out.
Simon says do 5 push-ups. Good. Simon says run in place for 3 seconds. Alright. Simon says jump on 1 foot 10 times. Now do it 5 more times. You got it. You got it. Thought about it.
Make sure you